guys, and welcome back to our channel, The Maurer. Thank you very much for following us. If you did not subscribe yet, please make sure to do so. And if you want to be noticed about all the new stuff that we are putting up, then don't forget to press the little bell. And of course, if you have any comments, we are always open to see, what you're interested about. And I'm trying to make sure that I will be answering all your questions. Today's agenda is gonna be something very, very cool and very interesting. Some of you might know me, or some of you might know what I do, my regular job during the daytime. Yes, I'm not having a fancy dress party, and not only the reason why I'm wearing a chef jacket. I am actually a chef, and I'm a restaurateur myself, so I run restaurants. I have an ordinary pizzeria and restaurant where we do classic Italian food. Of course, with contemporary Neapolitan pizza, and I have another business, where we do gluten-free, sugar-free, milk-free, lactose-free, so kind of like everything-free foods, for people with allergies and intolerances towards food. There is something really, really great stuff that we make in that restaurant, which is the last one I just mentioned. It's pizza which is gluten-free. Yes, gluten-free. So it's absolutely gluten-free, and I can assure you that the final product which is coming out from these simple ingredients, it's something which is absolutely unique, absolutely extraordinary. So I can say that this is the best gluten-free pizza that you can make, even at home or in your restaurant as well. It is a fantastic recipe. I have about 2 years of development put into it, and as I always say, there is no secret in my videos, so I'm very happy to share this with you. Best gluten-free pizza. Yes, no joke, guys, no joke. This is really the best. I have tried several products. I've been to all the, the competitions, to my restaurant, to my business, and I was very disappointed. They asked me a lot of money because, of course, the ingredients are more expensive, especially, if it's not only gluten-free, but it's lactose-free or milk-free. And of course, the milk-free cheeses, they're yuck. But anyway, it's a vegan product, and I do understand that some people, they have the, they must buy these products, and they must have these products, otherwise they cannot enjoy pizza at all. Yet, on the side with the dough, we can make something unique, something exclusive, something extraordinary, something really, really great. And let me walk you through quickly the recipe. The biggest problem and the biggest challenge that we're facing always, with the gluten-free pizza dough, it is the number one key element is missing from the dough. What is it? Gluten, of course. God's sake, we need gluten to have the beautiful structure. So yes, that is a struggle and that is a challenge, but we can come over it, and with certain products and certain techniques, we can make something really cool. So the number one and must is this recipe is built on Caputo Fiore glute. It is a flour which is fantastic. It is a great product that has been developed by Caputo, the Neapolitan mill, and it is working fantastically. So if you follow everything step by step, guys, I can show you that it's going to be something bombastic, something great. So pre-dough, it's kind of like a poolish, I would say. So 500 grams of flour, simple, Caputo Fiore glute, nothing else added into it. 500 grams of cold water, tap water, ordinary, doesn't need to be pre-chilled like we do it with the regular stuff. 5 grams of yeast and 5 grams of honey. Yes, so fresh yeast and honey. And at this time, very simple, put everything together, but we're using a pedal mixer, so not a spiral mixer, something with a pedal. Yes, and then mix it together in a high speed and then leave it to rest. And then ordinary, you could do that for 2 to 3 hours in room temperature, and then have to wait until it basically doubles in size, and then be able to use it. Or you can leave it in the refrigerator straight away. So put it in an airtight container and then put it in the fridge, leave it there for about 24 hours, 16 to 24 hours, and then you'll be able to use it. Yet, always need to be making sure that the size, the quantity, the volume, how can I say properly, it doubles itself, so it throws up, yeah? So, come with me, let's make the pre-dough. Put the flour in first, water, yes, so it's 100% water, so it's exactly the same quantity like we added the flour in. Gluten-free flour absorbs water much more and much rapidly compared to regular flour. And then just basically crumble in the yeast and add the honey into it as well. So scrape it nicely. Now, very simple, just put the things together, turn it on first low speed, and then we increase the speed. So say, very simple, Bob's your uncle. Low speed first, until the structure comes together. And once you see that it starts combining together, you can increase the speed. And we will go on high speed, which is maximum speed that your mixer can do, for 1 whole minute. It has to go once everything combined together on full speed. So we work some air in there, guys. Yeah. Reason number 1 was for the high speed is to incorporate some air inside. And also reason number 2, because of the gluten-free flour, little lumps could generate themselves, and create themselves inside the dough. So due to the high speed, the pedal will be able to break it and then make the dough homogeneous. Just remove all the sticky stuff. And then we're going to be using a little plastic container, ordinary container, anything, with a lid which can be sealed airtight. If you don't have a container with a lid, which seals up, doesn't matter, you can just use a mixing bowl. But make sure that it is large enough that the dough which you put inside there, it can actually grow and the volume can increase, at least double itself, so it has to be enough room in there. Okay, so come just see, we put it inside the box, spread it evenly, nicely, and then now I'm going to cover it. And as I said, you can either leave it out to 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours at room temperature, depends on, how hot it's in your kitchen or in your living room, wherever you're going to leave it. And then use it straight away and make the dough with it. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, if you want to make it for tomorrow, then you can use it as an ordinary pre-dough and then leave it in the fridge for 16 to 24 hours. And you don't need to leave it outside, just put it straight into the fridge. It's okay. For the refreshing, we will be using again the same type of flour, which is gluten-free, Caputo, and brand is Caputo, and the type is Fiore Glute. Yes. Now, as I said before, you remember that, gluten-free flour can absorb way more water than generally ordinary flour does. So our target on our hydro is 90%. Yes, 90%. It sounds a little bit much, but trust me, it isn't. It's just gonna be perfect. So adding another 400 grams of water in there, refreshing it with 5 more grams of yeast, 30 grams of salt, sea salt, fine sea salt, not iodized. Very important, not iodized. And then 30 grams of extra virgin olive oil. And then for the method, yes, the flour will be going there straight away. And then we will be putting the yeast there. Salt, of course, stays towards the end. Olive oil stays towards the end. And then the water we will be adding gradually. And as we always do, 60% at the beginning and 40% during the time of making the dough. Same story, same business. Yeah, still we're using the pedal and we're using the pedal mixer again. Okay, so come with me and then let's make it again. So let's see how our pre-dough had improved and enlarged and doubled in size. Just ooh. You can see little bubbles in there, so it did a really, really good job. Now what we're gonna do is just a little plastic spatula, scrape it all inside the mixing bowl, and then add the ingredients together and finish up our dough on a regular way, how we always usually do. Basically just dump all the additional flour and refreshment of the yeast. And then low speed starting. We had the machine running on full blast for about 1 minute. Very nice, very fluffy, very airy. So just move it a little bit around. So the structure is very fragile, very, very sensitive. Yeah, yet we have a little trick how to do this job. First of all, we're gonna need some containers where we're gonna be putting our dough into. And usually I use these disposable soup boxes. They actually just perfect for it. And what you need to do, a little bit of olive oil inside, and then just a little brush, just basically brush them nice and evenly. A little bit more than you would generally do or use. Just get a nice pinch. By the weight, I usually say that you need to increase compared to the regular pizza dough by around 10%. Yep, I'll shape it by hand. See that my hand is oily. And then voila. Okay, and now we are just simply covering them with the lid airtight. Options we have 2. I can put it in the fridge, leave it there for 6 to 8 hours and use it, or leave it at the room temperature, and in about an hour time we'll be able to bake perfect pizzas from it. So yes, you know, it is a little bit more fast, you know, and it is a little bit more rapid on the way of making than if we would be making it with regular flour. So these boys are gonna go for a bit of a rest, and then we come back and we make some great pizzas. Until then, I'll see you just now. Welcome back from our little nap, and let's see our little gluten-free boys, how they behaved and how they reacted to room temperature. I mean, as you see, they literally doubled in size. And for the stretching, you know, we use a much more gentle and a little bit, how could I say, softer, easier technique than we would regularly do with our ordinary pizza dough. First of all, you know, usually when you see we do the regular dough, we always using rimacinata, which is a double grinded semolina, much more finer, or spolverina, you know, which helps to make the pizza dough a little bit crispy on the outside, and it's very easy to stretch the dough inside. Now, this time, you know, for stretching, we're gonna use rice flour. Yes, because the structure of the rice flour, it's very, very similar to rimacinata. The texture is very similar to rimacinata, you see it, and this is what we're going to be using for the gluten-free dough. So exactly the same way we put it out on the table, yet again, different case, different scenario. What you see, you remember that, you know, we greased the side of the box before, so I'm using a little plastic spatula just gently to use a tip on it and to move it around a bit. So just removing it from the side. And once I can see that it had removed, I dip my hands in the flour and then just twist it out. Put flour on the top. There you go. The story is the same like before. Regain the circle shape first. And then here. Making a well in the middle and then gently pressing the air towards the outside. Make sure there's always enough flour on the top, because it can be very sticky and the dough is very, very fragile. So don't move it rapidly, no sudden movements, you know, it has to be everything precise and pre-thought. Otherwise, you know, it will be ending up with a hole. Since, you know, this dough is missing the main part, which we always need, is gluten, so it does not have a structure. Yes. Plastic spatula again, scraper, just easily start removing the flour and repeating the same action, just pushing the air towards the outer part, but make sure it doesn't stick anywhere, and then removing the flour on the side. Tomato sauce, parmesan, some basil leaves, one more cheese, beautiful mozzarella, some extra virgin olive oil, and so get the pill, dust it with a little bit of flour. You see, we lift it up in the air, keep moving it a bit, so all the excess flour which is there, you see, this is a slotted pill, so it's got holes on it, and all the excess flour will go through there. Now, oven. Bingo. Temperature high, over 450. It is ideal. And you see the edges beautifully coming up. Nice, airy, beautiful cornichon. Nice, airy. The question is, can a gluten-free pizza be contemporary? Does look to me like yes. Let's just finish it, you know, just a couple of basil leaves on it. 1, 2, 3. And what else is missing? Oh yeah, Himalayan sea salt. Himalayan salt on top. Let's cut up this bad boy to see how it is. Ooh, as you can see on the structure, it's not as airy like it would be in its gluten-contented brother. Yet it's nice, soft, and by the native eye, would not tell that it is gluten-free. So guys, the question is, can a gluten-free pizza be fantastic? hell yeah, look at it. Beautiful, the structure nice, soft, exactly what we want. Nice and airy, beautiful. I mean, look at it, unbelievable. But even if you have gluten intolerance, or celiac, guys, it is possible to be done, trust me. Follow the steps, follow the recipe, go through exactly the way how I describe it to you, how I showed it to you, and you're gonna be resulting a fantastic product. But if you don't have a chance, then, and if you are in Hungary, come visit us in our restaurant. But until then, I just gotta taste this, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Ciao. Look at that.